Welcome to the Words That Change Lives podcast, helping leaders, coaches, and small business owners to 10 times the impact of their message. Join us as we delve into the art of powerful language, enabling you to speak with unwavering honesty, communicate authentically, and create a lasting impression with every word.
I've got a confession to make. Something that I have always found difficult is putting on the professional armour and finding it really, really hard to take off. What do I mean by that? I mean a protective mechanism that is like an invisible suit of armour that you put on to get in your work mode and your business head that means you are a certain type of persona and not your full self. Now, I did this in my corporate career because it was actually a mechanism to be more confident, because if you go back to episode 1 of this podcast, I share that I was really shy and nervous and blushed and all of that and anxious. And so putting on a professional armour actually helped me feel more confident. So what I'm not doing in this episode is poo-pooing that. However, it can have a negative impact. Putting on a persona at work or in business, and I still do it now. I've got my own business, but I put on that professional armour, and sometimes I need to remind myself to take it off again if I'm showing up online, or because professionalism is really important to me. It's one of my values. It's about understanding, first of all, kind of what that looks like, why you do it, and also the impact it can have. And then what you can do to be more of yourself without giving up those mechanisms entirely to get better results. Okay, so that's what this short episode is all about. So first of all, I want to give you some examples of what this might look like to you in the workplace, in your business. I want to talk about the impact of wearing this too much. I'm also going to introduce the Johari Window. It's a very, very old model, but I use it still. It was created by 2 guys called Joe and Harry, which is why it's called the Johari Window. I want to share that in terms of interpersonal communication. And then I'm going to give you some strategies for removing your professional armour. So hopefully this is something that resonates. I'm sure it is. Please let me know if it does, because I will do more episodes like this. So what does it look like? Well, it can show up in different ways. But one way it can show up is this formal language and jargon. So using overly formal language or industry-specific jargon can create distance between colleagues or peers or you and your potential client. So if you think about if you're in an organization and you're using jargon when people don't know what that means, or you've got people that are newer to the organization or not fully understanding of the culture, that can create kind of a disconnect. So we want to be as human as possible in our communication. So an example might be, we need to synergize our paradigms to optimize outcomes instead of, let's work together to achieve our goals. Another thing it can impact is interpersonal interaction. So keeping conversations strictly about work and avoiding personal topics. This again works with if you're running your own business or you are a leader within an organization or an employee within an organization. If you're only talking about work and avoiding small talk, then people aren't getting the full 360 of you. And that can feel slightly disconnected. I work with a lot of leaders all over the world, and I carry out 360s and use Hogan personality surveys. And in a lot of cases, someone who might be more reserved, more inclined to not want to connect with others, be more introverted and get the energy from being alone, might put on professional armour more and avoid the small talk. Whereas what you can do is put on a persona of interaction and ask questions. You don't have to change your personality, and you can do that and you can have a different effect. We'll move into that shortly. Also, things like rigid body language. So like a stiff posture, minimal facial expressions, avoiding eye contact, particularly eye contact, especially if we're face to face. So arms crossed, not smiling, all of those sorts of things is really kind of like this stiff professional image. We don't have to be like that. Also hiding vulnerabilities, not admitting mistakes, not sharing the behind the scenes, not showing the realism, not showing the low light reel on social media, avoiding asking for help or pretending to have all the answers is a massive wall and a big bit of professional armor. So saying, I'm fine when you're overwhelmed, or not admitting when you don't know something, is hiding a vulnerability that is human and connects you with your audience, your team, your employees. Also, being over focused on titles and hierarchies. Now, I know in a lot of organizations and a lot of businesses now, we are flattening out those structures, which is great. However, constantly referring to a job title or position to assert authority isn't the way to go. We want to kind of move away from that now. So as the senior manager, I think, or you should listen because I'm the team lead. I don't know who says that, to be honest with you. I haven't heard anybody saying that in a while, but focusing on those sorts of things really does put up that wall. And if you are running your own business, you're a coach. I really struggle with this sometimes. You are a brand and you want people to see who you are, but you don't want to be airing your dirty laundry and you don't want people knowing every part of your life. So how do you strike the balance between having a certain professional position and outlook and, how you're sharing yourself, but also sharing enough of yourself that people can connect with you? And this is all around how you are posting content on social media, how you are showing up at networking meetings, how you are talking to potential clients. It's really important if you're on your own business to think about what type of professional armor are you putting on and how do you take it off. This is particularly poignant if you have left the corporate world and you are fully in professional armor mode and you don't know how to show up online. I'm going to share some strategies with you. This is something I live and breathe daily. I go in and out of it. It's a problem for me because I can't always show up in the way that I want to. There's things that block me and hold me back. It's a mindset thing that I continuously have to work on. But when I have been able to show up in the way that I want, the results have been incredible. So it's just about maintaining that. You may be listening to this and thinking, this isn't a problem for me. I don't care about how I show up. No problem at all. Then maybe this isn't the episode for you and you can maybe skip to another one. But what's the impact of this? Well, understandably, colleagues, clients, potential clients, audience may perceive you as unapproachable or insincere. Because if they can sense that there's this lack of engagement because you've got this wall up, then there's going to be a lack of trust. And people need to trust you to buy from you or buy into you, depending on whether you're a leader or, a business owner. And so a team or an individual may feel they can't relate to you or share their honest opinions back to you or connect with you in that way. Also, if we think about collaboration between teams, between communities, all of those sorts of things. And so therefore it inhibits open communication and idea sharing. If you're putting up that wall, then other people may hesitate to give feedback or ideas or put ideas forward. And in turn, you might hesitate to do that too. It also can increase your stress levels because maintaining this facade can be a bit exhausting. A lot of people are very good at it. They compartmentalize. And another reason why it's a problem for me is because I'm so different outside of work. If I think about my corporate days, I had so much professional armor on because outside I was raving and clubbing and into like dance music and being free at the weekends. And then I'd come in and be this really professional role. Now in my business, of course, it's a lot more flexible and malleable and people do know about my other things, but I still have that wall up for protection. But it can increase your stress levels because if you're constantly feeling the need to be perfect and not showing any weakness, that's a bit exhausting. It can also limit your personal growth because avoiding feedback or not acknowledging any weaknesses or any vulnerabilities can actually stunt development. So, for example, if you're missing out on learning opportunities because you don't ask for help or admit that you've got gaps in your knowledge, which we all have, right? And I want to frame this with this model, the Johari Window, because I've used this, I used this in my leadership training way back when. I've used it in some of my courses since launching this business. And essentially, it's a framework for understanding the dynamics of self-awareness and interpersonal relationships. Look it up online. It's got a really nice little model that you can follow. There are also free questionnaires online that you can complete to understand the different areas and where you are in relation to this. So there's 4 different areas with the Johari Window. The first is the open area, and that is what you know about yourself and others know about you. So this represents information, behaviours and feelings that are openly shared. And I will say, spoiler alert, the goal with Johari Window is to increase that open area. Then we have the blind area. Now this is known to others but not yourself. And this represents aspects others see in you, but you are unaware of. Now, the blind spot is really important. The way that I work with leaders in organizations to open up this is by doing a 360 and personality assessment of dark side behavior. So the person will complete the assessment of their dark side and they will have a 360, and in every single situation, those dark side areas that are observed may be highlighted. More often than not, we do know deep down we've got these things, but we're maybe blind to them, or we're avoiding them, or we don't want to address them. So that's the blind area. Then we have the hidden area. Now, this is what you know about yourself, but other people don't know. This is your private information, your feelings on particular subjects that you choose to keep hidden. Now, it's okay to have that hidden area. And I think it's about assessing what you share and what you don't, what is important to keep hidden and what is not. Especially if you run your own business, you're a leader, a prominent figure within a business. It's really important to think, okay, so what private information is important for me to share and what is not? Then we have the unknown area. Now, this is unknown to both you and others. So this represents untapped potential, unknown behavior or feelings to be revealed at certain moments or certain triggers. I really like this model because it helps me to think, okay, so what's currently in my open area? What am I aware of about my blind area? What have people told me? What am I hiding, and what maybe do I need to move into the open area? And of course, how can I be open to something I don't know? So the aim, as I said, is to increase the open area so you can share more about your thoughts and feelings and experiences with your colleagues, with your audience, with your potential clients, with your current clients. This builds trust and openness. I'll give a corporate example. So during meetings, you share your genuine thoughts and feelings about a project, obviously in a constructive way. Then we want to reduce the blind area, and we do that by seeking feedback from people to understand how they perceive you. You could do that through 360 exercises or just asking people, surveys, things like that, in terms of what you might not be aware of. So regularly asking for feedback on your communication is really, really, really important. We want to decrease the hidden area. So it's about gradually sharing personal experiences, emotions, and vulnerabilities that you are okay to share. An example of this might be a personal story that relates to a challenge that you've experienced that can foster relatability and connection. And that works whether you're a leader or a business owner. And then the unknown area. Well, this is where you engage in self-reflection and team building and new ways to discover aspects of yourself that you don't know. So frequent personal development and growth, podcasts, courses, therapy. If you have a team, retreats, workshops, anything that enables you to self-reflect and look within and discover. So that's the Johari window. I really recommend looking into that a bit more. But here's some other ways that you can remove that professional armor. It's all about how you communicate, right? This podcast is all about communication and the words you use. So practice using simple, clear language and be honest about your thoughts and feelings as much as is appropriate. So rather than saying, I'm going to circle back on that, you say, I'll get back to you with an answer soon. And it's about sharing and increasing that open area of the Johari window. Build personal connections, engage in small talk with people, show genuine interest in lives outside of business and work, find common ground, ask about people's hobbies and passions. Admit when you don't know something or need help, or that something's gone wrong, or that you have overcome a challenge and how you did that, that you're not perfect and you can show vulnerability. An example might be, I'm not sure how to handle this. I don't have the answer, but maybe we can work it out together. Encouraging feedback by regularly seeking and giving constructive feedback to help build open and trusting environment, whether that is an audience online, whether that is a client base, whether that is a team. Asking for people's thoughts and feedback is really important. One company I see doing this regularly at the moment is a company called Tallow and Ash. are a startup laundry company that are looking to revolutionize the laundry industry, and they're getting stuff wrong. They're admitting it and asking for feedback online most days, which is really, really great to see. Being present and mindful also helps by being present in conversations, actively listening, all of those communication techniques, putting away distractions, connecting with people, and also embracing your empathetic side and understanding other people's perspectives and emotions. Putting yourself in other people's shoes. And if you run your own business, it's about thinking, how do I increase that open window? How do I reduce that hidden window? And how do I share more of me in the stories I'm telling that aren't just all about business? So hopefully this little short episode has helped you to think about how you can reduce or remove your professional armour, embrace authentic communication, and transform the dynamics of the workplace teams you're in, or the clients you have, or the audience you connect with, to foster stronger relationships that lead to greater personal and professional fulfillment, and also sales. And by understanding and applying the Johari Window and implementing strategies there, you can create a more open, empathetic and collaborative environment. Let me know what you think. Email me, hello@helenpackham.com, or use the hashtag Words That Change Lives on social media, or contact me on social media and let me know. Do you have professional armour? How does it show up in your work, your business, your career? And what can you do to take it off? Thanks for listening to Words That Change Lives. Please rate, review and follow on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to your podcasts. It really means the world and helps me to reach more people so that we can all harness the power of our words and change lives for the better.